Another round of classic Travis picking techniques applied to our 1, 4, 5 progression in the key of C using just one single chord shape. It's gonna look and sound like this. Let's break that down. Okay, a close look at the fretboard. Getting started learning how to Travis pick over a C dominant 7 chord. I'm going to be sharing with you the main pattern and then a couple of variations that you can throw in just to add a little bit more flavor. So here's the basic pattern. It's going to look and sound like this. And real slow, get it into your ear. Okay, so that's the basic pattern that you would hear in rockabilly or country blues tunes, very much in the style of Chet Atkins, Scotty Moore, and of course Merle Travis. Basically what I'm doing here is fretting a C dominant 7 shape, frets 3, 2, 3, 1, 0. A very useful shape because if you don't include the E strings, it's a closed shape, meaning that you can transpose it to play every single dominant 7 chord in the book. Right there, I just played my 1-4-5 blues progression very simply, just using that C shape. All right, now, basic Travis picking approach, as we discussed in our previous lesson. The thumb is going to control the low strings, E, A, and D, and my index, middle, and maybe even my ring finger are going to control the high strings. All right, now before we jump into learning the pattern, I want to remind you that if you want tabs and also Guitar Pro for today's lesson, you can head to patreon.com/Swiftlessons, where I have a growing library of specialized resources to help you with your practice. Okay, so fretting that C dominant 7 chord, getting started with the pattern. One more time. We're gonna break that up into 2 parts. Here's part 1. Very, very simple. I'm just playing the root note, then a double pluck of the D and the B string together. Then I'm gonna lift my ring finger up to the G note, 3rd fret low E string, and play E, G, D, allowing us to achieve that alternating bass sound. Now, if this is something that is new to you, you wanna repeat that over and over again before moving on. Get that into your muscle memory. You can count it out, 1 and 2 EN, 1 and 2 EN. All right, now moving on to the second half of the pattern, we're gonna play. That was double D, G, E, B, D. Okay, if you put those 2 parts together, then we're gonna have bass, double E, G, D, double D, G, E, B, D. As you're learning, it's very, very helpful to say the names of the notes out loud in rhythm. That's gonna help you to memorize the pattern more quickly and also help you to process the technique mentally. All right, so I'm gonna loop that for you at a very, very slow tempo. You can play along and get it into your muscle memory. A 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and bass, double E, G, D, double D, G, E, B, D. One and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E N. It's also very useful to practice counting and playing at the same time. All right, and you know you really have the pattern down when you can talk and play it at the same time without skipping a beat. Okay, now that you have that basic pattern over the C dominant 7 shape, you can easily transpose that chord across our 1-4-5 progression in the key of C. Of course, this can be moved fret to fret to change the key if you like. Now what you're going to do is take the C chord, move it up to the 8th fret position, and then now you have the 4 chord F dominant 7. You can take that shape up a full step to perform the 5 chord G dominant 7 to produce a 1-4-5 blues progression in the key of C. Now we can also apply our picking pattern across those 3 chords. You can play it a couple times over the 1. Transpose up. Now we have the 4 chord. Head back. The 5. The 4. And the 1. One more time, here we go. One more time on C. The F. And back home. The 5. Alright, and just like that, we've applied a very cool, classic, authentic Travis picking pattern to our blues progression. Now, one of the things you might want to try next is switching up your pattern just a little bit to make things sound a little less predictable. One of the things I like to do is incorporate this pattern that I call a criss-cross pattern. Looks and sounds like this. One more time real slow. Alright, so it started off very similar. Bass, double, E, G, D, but now I'm going to play. That was A, G, D, B, E, G, D. Still incorporating that alternating bass, throwing in the G note on the low E string. Bass, double, E, G, D, A, G, D, B, E, G, D. That's definitely going to take some practice, but it's going to sound so cool if you're able to throw that in intermittently. You can apply that same thing to the 4. And you can break the pattern up across the 5 to 4 change. Alright, now, last stop for today's lesson. I want to talk to you about basic feel. There's so many different nuances that you can apply to this technique, but if you want it to sound a little bit more jaunty, one of the things I recommend you do is apply a palm mute technique. Alright, just laying your palm over the saddle, alright, right where the strings meet the saddle. You can make it hyper syncopated and really make it danceable. Mixing together both very short and long notes, so staccato and legato notes. Alright, and that right there is going to give you a really authentic sound, especially at faster tempos. Alright everybody, I hope you enjoyed this lesson and that you're going to continue your fingerpicking journey with me. If you want to learn more techniques and also some fingerpicking tunes, you can click the card right up there in the corner. I want to thank my patrons for making all these lessons possible. I hope you're enjoying those extra resources. And until next time, this is Rob coming at you from the Jersey Shore saying happy picking.